Curious about your process for a game like this. Are you much of like a script guy, or first 15 plays, or things like that, or how do you like to go into a game ahead of time?
Yeah, we whether it's an opener or any week, we usually collaborate towards the end of the week as a staff on what our favorite plays are, and then we also communicate with the quarterback what he likes, what he feels most comfortable with. So that's something that we've done. It's not a hard and fast rule as far as staying on that script. Certainly situations can get you off that, but you have a pretty good idea of what, the first 10 to 15 plays are going to be. But I would say that we're a little bit more flexible than maybe, some people as far as if you need to adjust, throughout that process you do. So.
I know he's been around for a while. He's obviously had a big role for a while, but is there anything you see in Ty between last season and now that makes you think, hey, maybe we can even use him in different ways than we have the last couple of years?
I just think the maturity, the comfortability in the scheme, very versatile player, very smart player. So, no surprise that he's a player that, will try to feature and target, and he's earned that. And, the thing about Ty, like I mentioned, is very intelligent, very smart, very versatile. So that allows you to do different things with him, moving him around and different route concepts, different schemes, that sort of thing. So, he's earned that. He's worked really hard. He understands our scheme, understands our system. So he's been great. He's been awesome. And so big things ahead for him for sure.
I know that we asked you about him last week, but Tom said that Stephen is going to be the starter at running back. Just what's impressed you about him? What tells you that he is the guy? And what kind of progress do you think you guys have made as a whole in the running game in this preseason?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out in the run game, Saturday. We're going up against a perennial top 10 rushing defense in the country. They've been that way for many, many years. And so, talk is cheap right now as far as the progress we've made, and certainly the first game you'll get a much better sense of where we stand and the things that we've improved on and the things that we're going to continue to work on. As far as Stephen goes, just a presence, a maturity, a confidence. He's done a nice job integrating with the group. I think he's liked by the guys on the team, and so he's been a great addition, and we're expecting big things out of him. I know he's expecting big things out of himself. So he's been a great addition, and we're glad he's here.
Just to follow up a little on that, the offensive line, what have you seen from them? What do you like about what their potential might be for you?
I think just their experience. At this point, a lot of those guys have played a lot of football, and you can't simulate that. There's no way to replicate, live game reps in this conference. So I think their experience is helpful without a doubt. I think they've grown closer as a group, throughout the offseason, throughout spring practice, summer, and training camp. And I think they're hungry and eager to, show everybody what they're capable of. And we have high expectations for that group. And they've had great moments throughout camp, and we're going to lean on them and need them. I think, I always tell people, there's rarely ever been a championship team where they say, the quarterback position or the offensive line position wasn't a strength. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Most of the teams that win championships, those two positions play extremely well. Not to diminish the other positions, but certainly those two positions need to play well, for you to have an opportunity to win big games and compete for a championship. So they know the expectation's high, and we expect them to rise up to that.
Yeah, Coach, how has Mike looked to you in terms of throwing the football and moving around the pocket these 3 weeks in fall camp, and feel like he's ready?
Mike's looked great. I think just getting, knocking some of the rust off, just getting back into playing, not to say that Mike's been perfect, but from a physical standpoint, you see the same Mike Pennings that we've seen here. So still has a really strong arm, still moves very well, very instinctual player. I think going against our defense is a challenge each and every day, and I think that's been great for Mike. Just getting back into the live speed of it, the quickness of our defense, challenges you in your decision making and your ball placement and all those types of things. But Mike's had a great camp, and we're excited for him.
Just following up on that, I mean, it was kind of, I think, assumed that Mike was going to be ready, generally speaking, but was there a moment, for you or for the coaching staff where it's like, yeah, he's ready to go?
That's a good question. No, I wouldn't say there's maybe a moment. I thought Mike did a really nice job in the first scrimmage. You could see the ball jumping out of his hand. So I think that at that point in time, we felt pretty comfortable that, he was going to be prepared and ready to play. And I would say this past Saturday in our mock game, Mike just had a great look in his eye, great bounce in his step. It has been a process for him. And, I give Mike a lot of credit. It's a challenge trying to get your body right while also preparing mentally and physically for a season. That's a challenge that, he's had to go through, here the last couple months. And he's had a great attitude about it. The training staff has done a phenomenal job. Coach Wellman, his staff have done an excellent job. And, Mike's worked hard at it. And, when you're coming off of those types of injuries, every day is a new day. Just because you felt good one day doesn't mean you're going to feel good the next. And Mike's pushed through that. And I just think the look in his eyes and the energy that he had, this past weekend during our mock game, I felt comfortable that he was going to be ready to go. But that just kind of confirms that he's excited and ready to play. And so we're excited for him and, appreciative to him for just his determination, his grit, the things that he's endured, the adversity he's overcome. Not easy. And I give him a ton of credit for pushing through and still having a great bounce and a great smile and excited about the season.
Yeah, Coach, you've got guys that have been with you for a year but have still never played in front of a true road crowd. Are you planning anything special this week to get them ready, or is it just kind of back to what you were doing a couple of years ago for that?
We'll pump crowd noise in throughout the week. I'm anticipating it to be electric on Saturday. So I don't think, we won't be able to simulate what the crowd's going to be like to that extent. But we'll do our best to prepare them from a communication standpoint. Fortunately for a lot of the guys, they have played in those environments in the past. It's just been a while, and so I think, it's all good. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for our players. I'm excited for their players. I'm just excited for college football. It's going to be an incredible environment. And one that I'm just thankful that the players get to experience that, after such a, challenging year, for them to have that environment, I think it's going to be pretty special. But, and kudos to the Iowa fans. I've been there once as a player. It was spectacular. It's a wonderful environment to play college football. Not the easiest, but a great atmosphere. And so I think our players are looking forward to it, understand the challenge that comes with communicating at a high level in those type of atmospheres. And we're going to do our best to try to prepare them for that, but we recognize it won't be quite the same. So.
Nick, normally in the old days, most teams would have a game or two non-con games to start the season. How much more of a challenge has it made it for Michael and getting back into the offense, having to start on the road against a quality conference opponent versus and injuries can come at any time, I know, but still those games are always ramped up higher.
I think it really sharpens your focus and grabs your attention when you have such a great opponent in the first week. We recognize that the margin for error is small in this league, and certainly in opening games, it's even smaller. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for both teams. You have such a quality opponent that you're going against. It grabs your attention. It sharpens your focus. The urgency is at a high level and has been for a while now. And so I think it's good. I think it's good. I think you're going to find out a lot about your team in the opener. You have certain things that you feel confident that is going to show up on game day, but you also recognize that those moments really tell you a lot about your team and where you stand. And so we're excited for that. We're looking forward to that opportunity, and I think our players are excited for that as well. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's, it's a great opportunity, excellent opponent, great atmosphere. It's pretty awesome. So our guys are looking forward to that and ready for that.
You mentioned the mock game, And Coach Allen said he thought the defense won the second scrimmage. Did you see a bounce back or a little bit better performance from the offense on Saturday?
Yeah, we went against a scout team this past Saturday, so we did pretty good. I think winning the second scrimmage was an understatement. They did a much better job than we did in the second scrimmage. But we did all right in the mock game. It's scripted, so we, score a touchdown on this play. So we didn't do so good on short yardage Saturday. We scripted all. We got stuffed on a bunch of 3rd and 1s to work the substitutions of special teams. But hopefully we have a little bit more success on 3rd and medium and 3rd and short. But other than that, it was good. I think the focus was there, which is really what you're looking for in those types of situations. You have a long camp. It's kind of the last, school had started this past week, but it's the last kind of tune-up before you full speed into, game week. So I thought the focus was there, which you're always looking for in those moments. And so the kids did a nice job with that. But, we scripted for success in the mock game, so we did pretty good.
Nick, I know we've asked you about these guys before, but just how have you seen the transfer receivers, Matthews and Buckley, progress, especially in the last few weeks of camp as they get ready to actually, start playing games for you guys?
I think both those guys are doing a great job. Certainly talented players, just from a skill set standpoint. We've been pleased with, their ability. But both of those guys are good kids. They have good character. They care about their teammates. They're not – I think the urgency of where they're at in their career, they recognize that, they don't have as much time as when they were freshmen. So, there's certainly a sense of urgency for them to play well, and I know they want that for themselves, and we want that for them. But they've just been great additions. They've gotten along great with the guys in their rooms and on our whole unit and our whole team. And so, we as a staff, and I give the position coaches the most credit, they did a nice job of adding those pieces, not just from an ability standpoint, but just integrating with the team, getting along with the guys. And we're going to need both of those guys. We're going to need them to play at a high level. I know that expectation is there for them, and certainly we feel the same way about that. So we've been pleased with both those guys.